the future. All right, moving along. I'm excited to talk about this. So this is going to be a defense-heavy episode here, Emilio. And we've got a sound bot. We'll see how long we want to play it here. But this was from the presser earlier today. Jeff Hafley, obviously talking about the pass rush, talking about everything in between when it comes to the defense. He had an awesome quote on the front side about Kingsley Enagbare and just talking about the difference in which you want to some defenses they want to have an edge that's setting the edge against the run. The other is getting after the quarterback and vice versa. Sometimes you mix and match those things. I think many people look at the edge defender spot, Emilio, and they just think, okay, go after the quarterback. That's their job. There's nothing that irks me more than hearing the Twitter football gurus out there and what they say when the Twitter football gurus, they'll say, well, you pay a pass rusher to get after the quarterback. You pay an edge defender to get after the quarterback. Bob, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you think the only thing that they're getting paid for is to go after the quarterback, you don't understand scheme. It's really that simple. You got to be able to stop the run first and foremost, or else teams will dominate you. I mean, we remember the days of San Francisco running all over the Packers, right? So, again, we never want to get back there. And Rashan Gary is a huge part of the run game, right? The run defense is, like I said before, he's leading all defensive linemen in run stops at 31. Micah Parsons has 33 stops in general, but he's got 630 snaps to Rashan Gary's 511. It's another thing that Jeff Hafley said earlier, Emilio, was it's rare that edge defenders get 60% of the snaps in the league, right? Now, you hear about your Max Crosby's, your TJ Watts, which, prayers up to TJ Watt. Who knows what's going on there with his lungs? He's had to spend the night in the hospital, if you guys didn't hear about that. But these guys, the high paid guys, right? The Micah Parsons, the TJ Watts, these guys that are getting paid bukus of money, they're going to be out there as often as possible. And they're obviously a tier higher than a player like Rashan Gary. They always have been. They always will be. That doesn't mean Rashan Gary's a bad football player. But to leave that screen grab up for me, let's go ahead and play this clip here. This was Jeff Hafley being asked about Rashan Gary and just the defense in general. Let's see what Coach Haff had to say earlier today. Again, this was over on Packers Twitter is where this video was at. Here we go.
My mom, she would like that shirt too.
How do you get him going in the pass?
I mean, again, and I say this truthfully, Rashan's playing the run game, and I know you don't want to hear about the run right now. Rashan's playing the run game way better than he did last year, in my opinion. All right?
Agreed. 110%. We've been screaming it all year, and we're getting called Rashan Gary apologists.
Yep.
We're not getting many drop back passes. We're getting 7-man, 6-man play action protections where it's about rushing and converting. And a lot of times you got a tight end and a tackle on you, you got a tackle and a back on you. So at the same time, he's not getting as many opportunities, right? And then even on these third downs, we're getting more runs and screen on third down than I've ever been a part of. So do we want him to have more pressures? Certainly. I'm giving you a reason. And yes, I am defending him because I actually think the guy's playing really well, right? And I think a lot of times you look at not you. I think people look at things.
Not you, but you.
Yeah.
Very black and white when you have to look deper into it.
Let me tell you what Jeff Hafley's saying right now. Keep that grab up for me.
Yeah, I got you.
So what he's saying is he's saying it the nice way that LaFleur said last year or the year before. Remember when he said, when you guys talk about us only playing 2 down linemen, you're really exposing yourself.
Yep.
Don't understand the game of football and how we are playing defense, how the defensive side of the ball is played at the national football level, right? And he's saying in a very nice way. You got everybody expecting things black. Matt LaFleur said, you got, in layman's terms, Matt LaFleur said, y'all are a bunch of idiots, and you're proving your idiocracy, your ignorance right now with these comments.
Ignorance.
Yeah. And you think you've combed through the box score and I found something juicy.
Got him. 0 and a 1. You got an assist. Oh, I got him.
Oh, boy. And then they dig in, and all of a sudden, Coach LaFleur said, I don't know a damn thing about what you're talking about. But that's okay. Next question. Let's just move along here, right? So that's the way I'm taking it. You got any thoughts up to this point? We'll let Hafley continue his comment.
No, I think that's exactly it. It's just there's so much more to it than – point A, point B, ball move down the field. There's so much nuance in the game, and he'll go into it. But I think it was on that Evan one earlier when he was talking about it. just not having the two nose tackles or D tackles lined up in the A gap could have set that off to a QB sneak. And, he's thinking 12, 15 steps ahead just for one play. And what I did like was his one, gotta have it, GHT.
Gotta have it play.
Yeah, I loved that. I love that on the 4th and 1.
Yeah, coaches had that on their play sheet. They have gotta have it plays on the offensive. I guarantee you, Matt's got them.
Yep, GTHIs is what he was calling them.
Yeah, and you kind of keep that in your back pocket, and you find yourself in a crucial situation, or maybe your back's against the wall. All right, let's unload the cannon here. All right, now let's reset.
And then he called the Kodak. He called Kodak, which was when they got out there, got the picture of what the offense wanted to run. He said, we'll call timeout and look at it, even though we still had 12 on the field. We needed the timeout, but I like the Kodak call. Just those are the little things that are happening in the headset during the game while we're sitting there screaming about the last play. He's over there thinking, hey, let's get a Kodak look here on this 4th and 1 just so I can see, I can plan it out.
And I'll tell you something else. Matt LaFleur's gotten raked over the coals over the years for wasting challenges, wasting timeouts with a bad challenge. Some of those are strategic. He had one a couple weeks ago where I went, great challenge. I don't think it's going to get overturned, but he needed a timeout there anyway. Why not take your shot, use the timeout, and who knows, maybe it will get overturned or maybe it will get uphill. Right? Exactly.
You get your timeout, but maybe you get a challenge win too.
Absolutely. And again, the casual fan, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, like, oh, these guys don't know what they're watching. I'm talking about the smart ass fans that call for people's jobs and they don't even understand what's going on. They're at home going, oh, you're wasting another timeout. You're going to call that wasting a timeout when they literally just got the other team to tip their hand, and now they go back to their huddle and their play caller's going, dang, they seen that look. Do we call something else now, even though that's our top choice, right? All that stuff comes into play. It's huge.
Real quick, before you keep going, reality shift, we'll hit this in 2 seconds. Let's just finish up the segment. We'll get your super chat, bud.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, I want to hit that too. I think that's a fun topic.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's Hafley. Continue.
Right, and just because a guy might not have pressures in a game or sacks in a game, that doesn't mean he didn't play well. Micah Parsons didn't have a sack in the game last week. Micah Parsons had an unbelievable game last week. I mean, he had totally affected the game, but he didn't have a sack. So if you're going to be results-based, then you can call it what you want. But if you want to look deep and look at the whole process and how he truly affected every play, he had a really good game. If hopefully we'll get a chance to get in a game where the ball's going up in the air and there's a lot more drop back passes and he'll have more opportunities to rush.
2 more, please. Jeff, what do you need?
I'll get you.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question about Bohanna. Just first impressions of him. Obviously, Matt talked about being a mountain of a man, but
he's a mountain.
What kind of stands out to you about him?
Just knowing him for a week and just watching him.
We're talking about the new D tackle they signed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Is there anything else though that you want to hear from that? I mean, that was pretty much.
No, that was it. But it's just like you don't. Everyone's putting him down just because they're not seeing the numbers in the box score. Mm-hmm. The issue is the dude's. I mean, there's 60 minutes in the game. What else is he doing besides the 1 or 2 numbers that are on that Excel sheet, whatever it is?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just a quick refresher: Rashan Gary he's got 31 stops, guys. What that means is he made the tackle on plays that resulted in a negative EPA, like considered a negative play, a loss on the play in terms of EPA. He's got 31 of those, which is a much higher rate than Micah Parsons' 33 because he's played far fewer snaps, only 511 total snaps. Micah Parsons at 630, all while still having on the season 7.5 sacks, if I remember correctly. Kind of throws up on me. Give me just a second. I'll get it put up. I want to give you guys the correct numbers here. Again, Rashan Gary has, I believe it's 12.5 sacks on the year. Or I'm sorry, 7.5 sacks. Yeah, so you've got Micah Parsons at 12.5, Rashan Gary at 7.5. The next one is Devontae Wyatt at 4, Kingsley Enagbare at 2. Everybody's talking about Kingsley Enagbare as being a superstar, right? They're like, oh my God, why ain't he out there for Gary? Guys, he hasn't had near – Rashan Gary has a 12.3% quarterback pressure percentage according to NFL Pro and Next Gen Stats GPS tracking. Kingsley Enagbare has 12.5. That's it. They're basically the same player. The only difference is Rashan Gary has 7.5 sacks to Kingsley Enagbare's 2, and Gary has, it looks like, a little less than double the amount of snaps. You know what that means? Less than double the amount of snaps that Kingsley Enagbare. It means that if Kingsley Enagbare had the same amount of snaps as Rashan Gary, he would have 4 sacks to Gary's 7.5. He would have same type of thing there. His stops, he would have roughly 38 stops, okay, if he had about the same amount of snaps as Gary, right there in the same ballpark.
Yep.
And again, this isn't to put Enagbare down. It's just Gary is playing really good football. And when you turn on the tape, you see it. Again, I challenge everyone. Show me the play where Rashan Gary gets blown off the ball. And if you want to show me a play where he doesn't hit home on the quarterback, 90% of the time, I always stop the tape on Chalk Talk and go, does it look like he's actually rushing the quarterback here?
Right.
Or is he setting the edge and kind of playing a little bit of a spy technique while Micah Parsons runs around like a chicken with his head cut off to make the play, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway.
And it's how deep do you want that well to be? How much push do you want him to get vertically? Would I rather you have Rashan slide horizontally across the line? I mean, sometimes you're just engaging and get east-west. You got to get down the line. I don't care about getting depth at all. If it's a run play, a stretch run, we need to get outside, keep it inside, kick it. All these things are coming into account. And again, it does seem like Hafley more or less, we're getting one-man pressures with 4 guys down based on the way you're scheming it. Let's have one dude touch by, take up 2 of them. Let's have another guy push in on the tackle and take a chip. And then, maybe we can loop Micah or whatever it is. So there's just a bunch of different, things that we can add to it. But there's no point in putting down Rashan and saying, why isn't Kingsley getting more opportunities? They're all of them are on a snap count. It's not like even Micah's playing the full account. Micah's not playing the Max Crosby numbers. We've talked about this hockey line for 2 years now about wanting to rotate, keep everybody fresh. And you maybe get 20, 25 snaps for Kingsley. Rashan maybe gets 30, 40. I mean, what's the difference really? We just want to make sure that when they're out there, they're giving 100% and we're getting, things happening because of them.
Yeah. And listen, when they pull Gary off the field and they put 55 out there, how cool is it that you don't feel like, oh crap, he's not going to do anything, because he's playing at Rashan Gary's almost his level in terms of quarterback pressure percentage. And boy, oh boy, when he arrives pissed off.
He's being able to drop him too, Clay. Like you get a lot of more drops out of Kingsley than you can out of Rashan. Different player. You're asking him to do something different. You're asking him to do something completely different than Rashan.
And that's why you've seen Kingsley's snaps amp up a little bit in New York, because they wanted to play a lot of fire zone blitzes on Jameis Winston to force him to throw interceptions, right? To force him to throw into coverage. Couldn't capitalize on him as much as you wanted to. But again, we showed one particular play where he took a sack, where he dropped back to pass, looked, and his check down, his safety valve, 55 was standing right in front of him, waiting for him to throw the ball. And he's like, oh crap, let me get off my spot. Bang, he's hit for a sack. So that stuff's important. But anyway, I thought that was really, really interesting, diving into the Jeff Hafley stuff. I love it when he opens up about that. He said the same thing Matt LaFleur said. He just said it in a nice way. And that's why he is going to be a head coach. That is why he's an excellent communicator. I think there's a really, really, really good shot he's going to be head coach somewhere else next year. And it sucks. But also, I just hope like hell that Derek Ansley and some of these other assistants are watching and studying him to a T. So they'll be ready to step right in if it's Ansley, if it's DeMarcus Covington, whoever it may be. It might be the DC in waiting if he does get a head coaching job somewhere. So
if you guys hold off on that, Clay, I'll push that one out for another year or two. I think he'll kick it for.
I'd like to push it out for a decade.
Yeah, right.
So, all right. So if you guys are watching this video later, let us know what you think about Jeff Hafley's comments on Rashan Gary and all the detail that he put in. This is that quick conversation with the media about the defense. Also, make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified anytime we do smash that live button here. And also, everybody in the chat, hit that like button for me. Pretty cool new feature. I didn't set this up. Evidently, the Gemini AI that they're using, I believe it's Gemini that's attached to YouTube now, they recognize we're a football show. So when you hit like, it spins a football. So spin that sucker for us real quick. Spin them laces for us, all right? And hit that like button.